Hello and welcome to another edition of Productivity Mastery. My name is Carl Pullein, and in this week's episode, it's all about planning, and specifically planning for 2019. Yes, I know it's only October, but that actually means we have less than 3 months before we enter 2019, and that means now is the perfect time to start planning what you would like to achieve in 2019. Now, in this episode, I'm going to take you through my annual planning sheet, which I use every single year and which has 6 parts to it in total. But essentially, it has 4 questions and 2 lists. And let's get started with the first one. At the top of the list, and you'll be able to see that right there, or there. You're going to be able to see that right there. At the top of this sheet, we have ideas. Now, this is the dumping ground where you just dump your ideas that you would like to do. Now, what I should point out at this stage is, right at this very beginning, while we're still in October, it really doesn't matter how much stuff you dump in there. When it gets to the beginning of December, I will do another episode related to this one where you'll be able to start organizing it, because the truth is, when you do a brain dump about all the things that you want to achieve next year, there's going to be far too many things on the list, which is why you need December to sort the list out, start filtering it down so that you have several concrete things that you will go ahead and achieve in 2019. But at the beginning, where we are in October right now, and besides, if you're watching this in November, you still have plenty of time. Anyway, going back to the list, we have the first thing is ideas. That's the dumping ground. You just dump anything that comes to mind that you would like to have a go at doing next year. The next question, and it is the first question actually, is what would I like to change about myself? I'll repeat that one. What would I like to change about myself? Now, this could be anything. This could be, let's say you smoke cigarettes and you want to quit smoking. Let's say you find yourself drinking a little bit too much on a weekend and you would like to cut down the amount of alcohol you consume each week. But it could also be that you're living a little bit of a too much sedentary lifestyle and you want to get a bit more active. So you would put things like that in there. Now, I tend to find that people who want to lose weight, and let's be honest, there's quite a few people who would like to lose weight. It's one of the most common goals for, I suppose, New Year's resolutions. This is a great place to put that, but you need to be a little bit specific. Let's say you want to lose 10 pounds or 20 pounds or 30 or 40 pounds. You need to be quite specific here about exactly how much you want to lose. Equally, if, say, one of the things that you would like to change about yourself is to stop spending money and start saving money, then again, how much would you like to save in 2019? So that's where you would dump those kind of things. Now, the next question might seem a bit likewise to that, but what would I like to change about my lifestyle? Now, this could be related to like your hobbies. If there's some hobbies that you would like to start doing, then this is where you would put things like that. So maybe you want to start going into yoga or something, or maybe you'd like to start a full-out exercise program. Another one could be maybe you want to enter the realms of minimalism and you want to start reducing all the amount of stuff that you have lying around your room or your house. Anything like that can go into lifestyle. So you're thinking about the sort of things you want. One of my favorite ones, and something that one of my former clients actually came up with, was he wanted to change the way he was dressing. He said that he felt every time he went into work, he felt like he wasn't making an effort to dress up. So one of the things that he wanted to change about his lifestyle was to go out there and buy a few suits or some really good quality business casual clothing. And that's what he actually did. I think that was 2017. So anything related to your lifestyle would go into that question. The third question is, what would I like to change about the way I work? Now, this is obviously related to your professional career. Maybe you don't actually like the job you're doing at the moment. Maybe you're considering becoming a remote worker and you want to start looking into jobs related to the industry that you're in that will allow you to do remote working. Maybe you just want to change cities and move to another place and work in a different place. Whatever it is, what would I like to change about the way I work? That would go under this particular heading. The final question, which is number 4, what can I do to challenge myself? Now, this is something that people often forget, and challenging yourself could be anything. It could be related to sport. For example, I want to run a full course marathon in 2019. It could be something like I want to get myself promoted to director level. Anything that you related to that you know there's going to take a massive amount of effort to do would go underneath this particular question. And the final part of this sheet is goals. What do you want to achieve next year? Now, this can be specific. So in my case, I run my own businesses. I'm kind of, I suppose people would label me as an entrepreneur or a business person, but I own my own businesses. I have 2 businesses. And usually in goals, I set my income goals, my revenue goals for my companies. Actually, next year I have a big change coming up, and so my goals are related to one particular part of my business. But this is where you would put your goals. Now, as I said at the beginning of this video, the key part here is don't worry about how much stuff you put into this list. Now, whether you want to do this as a paper-based exercise, you could print out the sheet that you can download at the end of this show. You can actually write it all out if you prefer. You might want to keep a list, create your own headings in your journal or diary and just start adding to them. Or in my case, I always keep this as a note in Evernote because Evernote's with me everywhere I go. It's on all my devices, so it's just very, very easy to access. And for those of you power users out there, I actually create a drafts snippet so that I can just quickly add things to the bottom of the list and then I can reorganize it later. So how you keep this list, you need to make sure that this list is accessible because these ideas are going to come at you in all sorts of weird places. When you start, of course, it's like a brain dump, but the idea is you're now going to allow yourself 4 or 5 weeks to develop those ideas. You're going to be adding lots of other stuff. When we get to the beginning of December, and this is when we start filtering and fine-tuning this list, you probably will have a very, very long list. And that's okay. A longer list means that you've got plenty to choose from, but we also need then to fine-tune it over a period of 2 weeks. But you're going to have to join me at the beginning of December to find out exactly how to do that. But right now, all I want you to do, if you want to join in this exercise, and I can assure you I do this every single year. It's one of my favorite times of the year when I get myself organized. I go through these 6 parts. First of all, it's an ideas dumping ground. Anything that comes to mind gets dumped in there. Second is the question is, what would I like to change about myself? There's always something we don't like and we'd like to change. Second question is, what would I like to change about my lifestyle? I mean, for me next year, there's a good chance I'm going to be moving home because we got a few family things that we're moving around. So we're going to be moving house next year at some point. And I'm thinking this gives me a wonderful opportunity to go all in on minimalism, which is something I've been very interested in for quite some time. Third question is, what would I like to change about the way I work? I have a few ideas for myself on that one. I'm really looking forward to implementing them next year. Fourth question is, what can I do to challenge myself? Because we always need to be challenged. And the sixth part of this list is, what are your goals for next year? Anything, just write it down. Doesn't matter at this stage. Okay, I think I've spoken enough today. I'm sure I've given you lots of ideas about what you can do. Don't forget, set these up as questions as much as you can, because questions help your brain to start coming up with ideas. So ask yourself the questions, get your list, download the list, create the list in your notes application, whatever notes application you use, maybe create it on a piece of paper, whatever you prefer. Get this set up and start developing it over the next 4 or 5 weeks, because in the first week of December, I am going to take you into the second part, which is getting everything ready so that we hit 2019 full of energy, full of motivation and full of inspiration. Thank you very much for watching this episode. Just remains for me now to wish you all a very, very productive week. Thank you for watching this video. If you liked what you saw and you would like to learn more about becoming better organized and more productive, then get yourself enrolled in my free beginner's guide to building your own productivity system. And if you'd like to learn more about how I can help you, then visit my website at carlpullein.com. All the details are in the show notes below.